Hello everybody and welcome back into the channel. It is so good to see you and thank you so much for joining me for today's movie. I hope you're all doing well. My name is KL and the movie I'm watching today that I have not seen before is Rear Window from the year 1954. This is a Hitchcock film that stars James Stewart and Grace Kelly, and I am so excited to check this out. And the reason I'm watching it today is because it was the winner of a poll over on my Patreon. I set up a very, very specific poll. It was literally Alfred Hitchcock films that star Jimmy Stewart. And there's two reasons why I set this up. The first is that after watching It's a Wonderful Life here on the channel last month, I kind of fell in love with James Stewart. I really, really enjoyed him, and I knew that I wanted to watch another one of his movies pretty much right away. And Alfred Hitchcock is the other reason why I set up this poll, because I have not watched a Hitchcock movie since Psycho, which was done way back in October of 2022. Felt like this channel was long overdue for another Hitchcock movie. So here we are. This is the poll I set up on Patreon for those of you interested in seeing the results and what the options were. As you can see, Rear Window definitely won by a lot, but I do want to get to the other three movies eventually at some point. The only thing I know about this movie is that it's a suspense, so I'm very excited for that, to see what the story is. And I do see on the movie poster that James Stewart is holding a camera with a very long lens. So gonna make the assumption he's a photographer. Not sure if he's a hobbyist or a professional photographer, but we will find out, and I am so excited to get into this. As always, if you want to participate in those kind of polls, if you want to join an awesome community and get access to watch-alongs and exclusive reactions, come on over to Patreon. Just remember to bring your own copy of all the movies and TV shows that I watch. And with that, thank you so much again for joining me for this, and let's press play. First Grace Kelly film, I'm very excited. Also, now I get to see James Stewart in color. One thing that always gets me about the opening credits for movies like this is just how few people were involved, or credited at least, compared to movies now, where the credits are like 7 minutes long. Oh, it's a very hot day. She looks like a Barbie doll. Here lie the broken bones of L.B. Jeffries. Looks like a broken camera.
Congratulations, Jeff, for getting rid of that cast.
Next Wednesday. Must be rough on you, thinking of me wearing this cast for another whole week.
It's like she knows that he's looking at her.
Got a code tip from the bureau chief this morning.
Okay, when do I leave?
You're too valuable to the magazine for us to play around with.
Okay, so he's a profesh photographer.
You've got to get me out of here. It's 6 weeks sitting in a 2-room apartment with nothing to do but look out the window at the neighbors. I'm going to do something drastic.
Like what?
Like what? I'm going to get married.
I love that nobody... Sorry, I was about to say something really dumb. I forgot how hot the day was. I was about to be like, nobody has their curtains pulled, obviously.
Rushing home to a hot apartment and the garbage disposal, a nagging wife.
Wives don't nag anymore. They discuss.
That's so. In my neighborhood, they still nag.
Yeah?
Yeah, have some good news next time, huh?
His eyes are so blue. I can't handle it. They're a piercing blue. Oh, the itch. I've never had a cast before, but I've been told about the cast itch.
Say, I wouldn't think so deep about you. Giving them far too much water.
Stop backseating the man.
Why don't you shut up?
Just mind your own business. He's not hurting you.
We become a race of peeping Toms. What people ought to do is get outside their own house and look in for a change.
She's not wrong.
You know, I should have been a gypsy fortune teller instead of an insurance company nurse. I got a nose for trouble. You heard of that market crash in '29? I predicted that. I was nursing a director of General Motors. Kidney ailment, they said. Nerves, I said. What's General Motors got to be nervous about? Overproduction, I says. Collapse.
Oh, Stella, in economics, a kidney ailment has no relationship to the stock market, none whatsoever.
I can smell trouble right here in this apartment. See things you shouldn't see? I can see you in court now, surrounded by a bunch of lawyers in double-breasted suits. Judge, it was only a little bit of innocent fun.
I hope she's not accurate with this.
I think there is going to be trouble around here. Lee's a Fremont.
She's a beautiful young girl, and you're a reasonably healthy young man.
She expects me to marry her. I don't want to.
It's abnormal.
I'm not ready for marriage.
Lisa Fremont is the right girl for any man with half a brain who can get one eye open.
No, she's just not the girl for me.
Yeah, she's only perfect.
She's too perfect. She's too everything but what I want.
Well, what do you want?
She belongs to that rarefied atmosphere of Park Avenue, you know.
But what if she wants you?
I need a woman who's willing to go anywhere and do anything and love it. So the honest thing for me to do is just call the whole thing off.
I can hear you now. Get out of my life, you perfectly wonderful woman. You're too good for me. When a man and a woman see each other and like each other, they ought to come together. Wham. Nothing has caused the human race so much trouble as intelligence.
Kind of agree with that, actually.
Psychoanalyze each other until you can't tell the difference between a petting party and a civil service exam.
They both make really good points, okay?
When I married Miles, we were both a couple of maladjusted misfits. We are still maladjusted misfits.
Doesn't mean everybody will be that way.
Lisa's loaded to her fingertips with love for you. I got 2 words of advice for you. Marry.
She pay you much?
Oh.
But I wouldn't want to be with a man who doesn't feel it the way that he just talked about her. If he realizes he made a mistake, that's on him. But I would not want to be with a man who is not 100% in, and he is not 100% in. People not being 100% in is why there are so many marriages that have failed. Although even if people have been 100% in, if you don't grow together and work through things, then it'll fall apart anyway at some point. But also, I'm of the opinion where I don't believe that marriages have to last until you die. Some people are meant to only be chapters in our lives. I love the filming style of this movie so far, with all the windows and being able to see into people's lives. It's very fun. She's like, someone is watching us. Yeah, there we go.
Window shopper.
Is this Lisa?
How's your leg?
Hurts a little.
Do you love life?
Not too active. Who are you?
Lisa? Carol?
Wow, look at that dress.
Fremont.
Is this the Lisa Fremont who never wears the same dress twice?
Only because it's expected of her. You think it'll sell?
Yes.
1,100.
We sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. It's opening night of the last depressing week of L.B. Jeffries in a cast. You know, the cigarette box has seen better days. I'm sending up a plain, flat silver one with just your initials engraved.
That's no way to spend your hard-earned money.
Well, I wanted to.
Aw. Ooh.
What a day I've had. Oh, I was all morning in a sales meeting. Quick drink with Madame Dufresne. Then I had to have a cocktail with Leland and Slim Haywood. She had on the most divine Italian handprint.
Oh,
Mussolini's-
Italian.
Oh, you. Isn't it time you came home?
You mean leave the magazine?
Yes. I could get you a dozen assignments tomorrow. Fashions, portraits.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of.
He doesn't want to do that?
Let's stop talking nonsense, shall we?
Guess I'd better start setting up for dinner.
She is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Aww. It's weirdly comforting to know that people did this back in the 50s. Humans never change. Aww. Aww.
Miss Lonely Hearts. Well, at least that's something you'll never have to worry about.
You can see my apartment from here.
We have a little apartment here that's probably about as popular as yours. You remember, of course, Miss Torso? She's like a queen bee with her pick of the drones.
Juggling wolves. She's not in love with him, or any of them.
How can you tell that from here?
Body language.
You said it resembled my apartment, didn't you?
Ooh. Why do I feel like something bad is about to happen? Okay, maybe not.
Where's that wonderful music coming from?
Some songwriter over there in the studio apartment.
It's almost as if it were being written especially for us.
No wonder he's having so much trouble with it.
Wow.
But at least you can't say the dinner isn't right.
It's perfect, as always.
If you're saying all this because you don't want to tell me the truth,
I'm not hiding anything. It's just that
it
I want-
doesn't make sense.
Let me
What is
explain
it
to
but
you.
traveling from one place to another taking pictures?
Now, let me give you my
It's
side.
ridiculous to say that it can only be done by a special private little group.
I can back it up if you just shut up for a minute.
Well, if your opinion is as rude as your manner, I don't think I care to hear it.
In this job, you carry one suitcase. Your home is the available transportation. And sometimes the food that you eat is made from things that you couldn't even look at when they're alive.
Jeff, you don't have to be deliberately repulsive.
Well, I'm just trying to make it sound good.
Sounds wonderful.
You're too stubborn to argue with.
I'm not stubborn. I'm just truthful.
So that's it. You won't stay here, and I can't go with you. You don't think either one of us could ever change?
Right now, it doesn't seem so.
This is how a lot of relationships end, to be fair.
Just like to be part of it somehow. It's deflating to find out the only way I can be part of it is to take out a subscription to your magazine.
Now, there's nothing wrong with you, Lisa. You've got this town in the palm of your hand.
Not quite, it seems. Goodbye, Jeff.
Well, you mean good night.
I mean what I said.
Well, Lisa, keep things status quo.
Without any future.
Yeah.
Well, when am I going to see you again?
Not until tomorrow night.
It's hard. It's hard when you live such different lives and you care for one another, but neither one of you wants to make the compromise of your life for the other person. But a compromise in this kind of situation would be difficult. It's okay to not be together because your lives are too different. Well, that didn't sound good. Oh, those people sleeping outside on the on the balcony. What is this man doing? I feel like he's wondering the same. Trying to make sense of these scenes. Back to her dancing. Are you really that lazy? Can't just walk your dog downstairs.
Eyes are all bloodshot. Must have been watching out that window for hours.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was.
Yep.
One of them catches you.
Yeah, depends which one. Now, Miss Torso, for example.
You keep your mind off her.
Poor Miss Lonely Heart. She drank herself to sleep again.
Maybe one day she'll find her happiness.
Well, it might be that the salesman will be available soon. He went out several times last night in the rain carrying his sample case. What would he be selling at 3 o'clock in the morning?
That's a good question.
I think he was taking something out of the apartment.
Uh-huh. His personal effects.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Any further developments?
The shades are all drawn in the apartment.
Well, they're up now.
Yes, they are. Well, not all of them.
Get back.
Come on.
Get out of sight.
Wouldn't he still be able to see you?
That's the kind of a look a man gives when he's afraid somebody might be watching him.
Cleaning the inside of the case.
And don't sleep in that chair again. Uh-huh. Great conversationalist.
Take those binoculars out of the case and bring them here, will you?
Trouble. Glad when they crack that cast and I can get out of here.
Oh, boy. Oh, okay. Jewels. When the binoculars just aren't good enough. I love these quiet scenes where there's no dialogue at all. We're just watching and observing. And I love seeing like everybody live their lives through like these windows across the way. Oh my gosh, this dog's been out here forever. Oh,
Why does
she's
a girl have to go
back.
before you notice her?
Well, if she's pretty enough, she doesn't have to go anywhere.
Pay attention to me.
I'm not exactly on the other side of the room, you know.
Your mind is. And when I want a man, I want all of you.
Don't you ever have any problems?
I have one now.
Why would a man leave his apartment 3 times and come back 3 times?
Likes the way his wife welcomes him home.
No. Why didn't he go to work today? What's interesting about a butcher knife wrapped in newspaper? Why hasn't he been in his wife's bedroom all day? There's something terribly wrong.
This is almost starting to feel like maybe a murder investigation.
Just how would you start to cut up a human body?
You're beginning to scare me a little.
Shh, he's coming back.
Oh, and rope now. Those blinds are intentionally left closed. Well, it looked like 2 people in the room.
Jeff, if you could only see yourself.
What's the matter?
Wild opinions about every little thing you see is disease.
What do you think I'd consider it recreation?
What is it you're looking for?
I just want to find out what's the matter with the salesman's wife, that's all. Does that make me sound like a madman? She's an invalid. She demands constant care. Yet neither the husband or anybody else been in to see her all day. Why?
You know,
Maybe she died. She could be sleeping under sedatives.
I've seen bickering and family quarrels and mysterious trips at night. And now since last evening, not a sign of the wife. All right, now you tell me where she is.
this is why it is kind of important to keep an eye on your neighbors. If there's a change in habit or behavior, sometimes it's concerning. And then you hear about cases where people have been dead in their homes for years. And then you wonder, like, did the neighbors not notice any change?
A murderer would never parade his crime in front of an open window.
Why not?
If they don't think
Why,
anyone's
for all
watching,
you know, there's probably something a lot more sinister going on
then
behind
maybe
those
they're not
windows.
concerned. And also, all the blinds were closed at one point, except the hallway one. Okay, blind is open. Got a box
Let's start from the beginning again, Jeff.
and a bed with nobody
Tell
in
me
it.
everything you saw and what you think it means.
Now she's on board. And now I'm on board.
Rear mailbox reads Mr. and Mrs. Laws Thorwald, 125 West 9th Street. Okay, Chief, what's my next assignment?
Just go home.
It's kind of unsettling.
Now, look, Doyle, it's just something I can't tell you over the telephone. Well, there's probably nothing important at all. It's just a little neighborhood murder. My only thought was throwing a little business your way, that's all.
Business.
It happens to be my day off.
Well, I usually took my best pictures on my day off.
I'll drop by.
Okay, Doyle.
You called the police.
Well, not exactly. It's just an old friend of mine.
Oh, now I want eggs, bacon, and toast.
The bathtub. That's the only place where he could have washed away the blood.
Correct.
You better get that trunk out of there before it starts to leak.
She listens to crime podcasts. Oh, is their blind? Have their? Oh, okay. I was just about to be like, have their blinds been down the whole time? 2 men.
I thought Doyle would be here by the time the trunk left, or I'd call the police. Now we're going to lose it. Look.
Just gonna get the name off that freight truck.
Oh shit. Go, Stella, go.
Long distance.
Oh, did she miss it? Oh, damn. Well, it was worth a shot.
I admit it all has a mysterious sound. Could be any number of things.
Did welfare checks exist back in the day, in this time, like they do now?
It's too obvious and stupid a way to commit murder. Fool people 50 windows.
Well,
That salesman wouldn't just knock his wife off after dinner and toss her in the trunk and put her in storage.
you never know.
This is 1,000 to 1 shot. He's still sitting around the apartment. That man's not panicked.
But some people don't get panicked. And in fact, lots of people that have committed multiple murders are the opposite of panicked.
We know the wife is gone, so I'll see if I can find out where.
Do that.
You, had any headaches lately?
This man also has insanely bright blue eyes,
It'll wear off, along with hallucinations.
along with the hallucinations. Well, that has me nervous now, especially combined with what Stella said at the beginning of the movie.
Get along. He's quiet, drinks, but not to drunkenness. Pays his bills promptly with money earned as a costume jewelry salesman, wholesale. None of his neighbors get close to him or his wife.
I think they missed their chance with her.
Apartment.
Where is
Till
she?
yesterday
The
morning, 6 a.m.
I think it's about the time I fell asleep.
Thorwalds were leaving their apartment at just that time.
We did see a woman leave with the man, though. Didn't we? I feel like we did. And I think he was asleep.
Who said they left then?
Oh, the building superintendent and 2 tenants. Flat statements, no hesitation. They jived to the letter.
Okay.
The superintendent met Thorwald on his way back. Thorwald told him that he'd put his wife on a train to the country.
See, this is a pretty convenient guy, the superintendent. Have you checked his bank statements lately?
What?
Huh? Well, what good's his information? Now, did anybody actually see the wife get on the train?
I hate to remind you, but this all started because you said she was murdered. Now, did anyone, including you, actually see her murdered?
Fair question.
What do you do? Are you interested in solving this case or in making me look foolish?
You could be wrong.
Go over there and search Thorwald's apartment. It must be knee-deep in evidence.
I can't do that.
When he goes out for a drink or a paper,
my gosh.
what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
I can't do that even if he isn't there. Not even a detective can walk into an apartment and search it. Why, if I were caught in there, they'd have my badge within 10 minutes.
Exactly.
All right, make sure you don't get caught, that's all.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'd like to remind you of the Constitution. The phrase, search warrant, issued by a judge who knows his Bill of Rights verbatim. Your Honor, I have a friend who's a amateur sleuth. Throw the New York State Penal Code right in my face, and there's 6 volumes.
What do you need before you can search?
Evidence.
One thing I don't need is heckling. I'm behaving like a taxpayer. How did we ever stand each other in that plane for 3 years during the war? Yeah, I guess I'll go to the railroad station and check on Thorwald's story. Postcard in Thorwald's mailbox. Message went, arrived okay, already feeling better. Love, Anna.
Is that Anna? Is that who I think it is?
Mrs. Thorwald. Anything you need, Jeff?
Might send me a good detective.
Oh, I can't tell if I believe Jeff or if he's just fucking tripping, making shit up just to give himself some kind of entertainment while he's like this, you know? Just kind of like spice up the life a bit. Is that a bologna and mustard sandwich? All right, the apartment's still dark. I love these shots of him holding the camera and you can see the apartments in the reflection. There he is. Laundry. Calling Doyle again? Or
Hello?
Lisa?
Hello, Miss Doyle.
Yes.
Doyle.
I'll have him call the moment I hear from him.
Have him get over here as soon as he can. Looks like Thorwald's pulling out tonight. No, he'll know. And Thorwald's a man, Tess, don't worry.
Good night, you idiot.
Damn. Her bag?
Long distance again.
I'm worried that he's gonna like look up and look right at the camera lens.
Hello.
What'd you do to your hair?
Oh, I just sort of...
Take a look at Thorwald. He's
She's wearing it up.
that alligator handbag
What
wife had
about
on the
it?
bedpost. He had his wife's jewelry in the handbag. Seemed worried about it. Asked somebody's advice over the telephone. I never saw him ask her for advice. She volunteered plenty, but I never saw him ask her for any.
How does he know what was said from just looking across the way?
I wonder where he's going.
I don't know. Oh, he'll be back. His things are still there.
Doesn't make sense to me. Women aren't that unpredictable.
Well, I can't guess what you're thinking.
A woman has a favorite handbag, and then all of a sudden she goes away on a trip and leaves it behind. Why? And that jewelry. Women don't keep their jewelry in a purse getting all twisted and scratched and tangled up. Why, a woman going anywhere but the hospital would always take makeup, perfume, and jewelry.
Back in these times, maybe. Certainly not now.
Mrs. Thorwald left at 6 a.m. yesterday with her
According to those witnesses.
husband. Well, I have a pat rebuttal for Mr. Doyle. That
Yeah.
couldn't have been Mrs. Thorwald.
Oh?
Or I don't know women. We'll agree they saw a woman. But she was not Mrs. Thorwald.
Right.
Not yet. I'd like to see your friend's face when we tell him.
I sure wish he'd show up.
Don't rush him. We have all night.
What if something happened to Doyle?
I'm going to stay with you.
Ooh.
Oh, it's very nice, but I just have one bed. I won't be able to give you any pajamas.
You said I'll have to live out of one suitcase.
Oh.
Compact, but ample enough. I'll trade you my feminine intuition for a bed for the night.
I'll go along with that.
Very cute. Oh, this house party looks fun.
Where does a man get inspiration to write a song like that?
He gets it from the landlady once a month.
Why don't I slip into something more comfortable?
By all means.
Like the kitchen and make us some coffee.
Oh, and some brandy, too, huh?
I love these two. Hi, Doyle. Something's up, I think. Lights off once again.
Think he's getting out of here?
But he's got everything he owns laid out over there in the bedroom, waiting to be packed.
Mr. Doyle, I presume? We think Thorwald's guilty.
Careful, Tom.
I love all these glances.
I see, thank you. Too bad.
Come on, Tom. Now, you don't really need any of this information, do you?
As a matter of fact, I don't. Lars Thorwald is no more a murderer than I am. People do a lot of things in private they couldn't possibly explain in public.
Something about that phone call Doyle just had.
You can't ignore the wife disappearing and the trunk and the jewelry.
I checked the railroad station. He bought a ticket. 10 minutes later, he put his wife on the train, Barrettsville.
That might have been a woman, but it couldn't have been Mrs. Thorwald.
I don't know how many wasted years I've spent tracking down leads based on female intuition.
All right.
I found the trunk a half hour after I left here. Mrs. Thorwald's clothes.
Why, when a woman is taking a simple, short trip, does she take everything she owns?
Maybe their relationship is just dissolving. Like maybe they just broke up.
That's what's known as a family problem.
And if she wasn't coming back, why didn't he tell his landlord? Because he was hiding something.
Why does he keep looking at the clothes?
Maybe I better get home and get some sleep. Not much of a snifter.
Something's off with Doyle.
Who was that trunk addressed to?
Mrs. Anna Thorwald. Oh, the telephone call. I gave him your number. Hope you don't mind. The police at Marrittsville. They reported the trunk was just picked up by Mrs. Anna Thorwald.
Something's off, but I don't know what.
Look.
There's a man in the apartment. Yay!
He's kind of young, isn't he?
Uh-oh. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, that sucks. I feel bad for her.
He might have gotten a hold of something when he said that was pretty private stuff going on out there. I wonder if it's ethical to watch a man with binoculars and a long focus lens. Do you suppose it's ethical even if you prove that he didn't commit a crime?
I'm not much on Rear Window ethics.
Rear Window ethics.
We're two of the most frightening ghouls I've ever known. You'd think we could be a little bit happy that the poor woman is alive and well.
Our blinds are closing for once. Except you can still see out, which means people can still see in.
Did Mr. Doyle think I stole this case?
No, Lisa, I don't think he did.
But he kept looking at it. And I don't know that I know why.
What do you think?
Ooh la la.
You like it?
Yes, I like it.
The dog?
Something's happened.
Oh no.
It's been strangled. The neck is broken.
Well,
Which one of you did it? You don't know the meaning of the word neighbor. Neighbors like each other, speak to each other, care if anybody lives or dies. But none of you do. The only thing in this whole neighborhood who liked anybody.
they're gonna assume it's the guy, Thorwald. Thorwald. I said Thornwald. But he didn't act weird with the dog earlier. Like, he just shoot it
For
away.
a minute, that
It's on the
Tom Doyle
flowers.
almost had me convinced I was wrong.
Oh no, here we go.
In the whole courtyard, only one person didn't come to the window.
I mean,
Why would Thorwald want to kill a little dog? Because it knew too much?
I'm not gonna assume it was Thorwald just because of that.
Is he cleaning house?
He's washing down the bathroom walls.
Must have splattered a lot. Well, why not? That's what we're all thinking.
Well, these are about 2 weeks old. There's something, and if I'm right, I think I've solved a murder. I think I know why Thorwald killed that dog. Now take it down. Now look again. Now take it down. Those flowers in Thorwald's pet flower bed. Now, since when do flowers grow shorter in 2 weeks?
There's something buried there. My idea is she's scattered all over town.
No. There's something in there.
Call Lieutenant Doyle.
No, let's wait. And I'll go over there and dig them up.
You'll go.
I feel like this is a little bit of a stretch, maybe, but
What we've got to do is find a way to get into that apartment.
He's packing.
Uh-oh. Here.
I love that dress. Oh my god, hurry, girl. Hurry.
You did it, Thorwald. You did it.
You never should have let her do it. If he ever...
I love the way this movie's filmed.
There's no doubt about it, he's leaving. You just question when.
I wonder. Miss Lonely Hearts just laid out something that looks like rhodium triagonal capsules. Well, make the rest easier.
Wasn't that close? Jeff, the handbag.
Suppose Mrs. Thorwald's wedding ring is among the jewelry he has in that handbag. Now, during the phone conversation, he held up 3 rings.
He
one
did.
with a diamond.
The last thing she would leave behind would be a wedding ring.
Unless they decided to just dissolve their relationship.
Let's go down and find out what's buried in the garden.
Oh boy.
Why not? I've always wanted to meet Mrs. Thorwald.
Dude, what are you two
You got a
talking
shovel?
about? A shovel? Of course I do. I have a
Probably one of
shovel.
them.
Also, if I was Mr. Thorwald and I received a note like that, I would be a lot more careful about the windows. Even if, anyway,
Maybe I can get him out of that apartment. 27099.
I'm really nervous for what he's gonna say.
Go on, pick it up, Thorwald. Come on, you wonder if it's your girlfriend calling, the one you killed for. Go on, pick it up.
Hello?
Did you get my note?
Who are you?
Meet me in the bar at the Albert Hotel to settle the estate of your late wife.
I don't know what you mean.
I'll be looking for you.
I cannot tell, based on Thorwald's response to all that, what's going on.
Come on, Stella, let's go.
One of you keep an eye on this window. If I see him coming back, I'll signal with a flash bulb.
So the Albert, that must be the bar that he can see from the window, right? I wonder what they're gonna find.
If he calls in, would you have him get in touch with L.B. Jeffries right away? I might have quite a surprise for him. He has it. Good night. Stella was wrong about Miss Lonely Hearts.
Oh wow, she's really digging. Nothing.
Lisa, what are you doing? Don't.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa, what are you doing? Don't go.
Wow. All right. I would never be doing that, let alone in a dress and heels. She's not gonna hear you. She's like, I'm just gonna snoop around. No jewelry.
Ring Thorwald's phone the second you see him come back.
I'm gonna ring right now.
Oh, no, give her another minute.
Why do they keep looking down at her? Just
Give me the police. 6th precinct.
because of the pills? Is she taking them?
The music stopped her.
Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Lisa! Lisa.
Oh, I love that we can see him come in through that reflection.
A man is assaulting a woman at 125 West 9th Street, second floor, L.B. Jeffries.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna be like, why is that out of the suitcase?
Oh, no. Oh, no. What? Please, Stella, what do we do?
So it ended up being a good thing in the end that he called. It ended up being accurate. Also, they got there really fast. I'm impressed.
Why don't you turn him in?
She's a smart girl.
Smart girl, she'll get herself arrested.
It'll get her out of there, won't it?
Oh.
Look, the wedding ring. Turn out the light, he's seen him.
I knew there was going to be a moment where he would look right into the camera lens. It happened.
When those cops see Lisa, they'll even
No.
contribute.
Doyle?
All right, what is it now? Why did I have to return you?
Lisa's in jail. She got arrested. She got into Thorwald's apartment. She went in to get evidence, and she came out with evidence. Like Mrs. Thorwald's wedding ring. That's like what?
My brain is like, maybe they just split. Maybe they just split.
He killed a dog last night because the dog was scratching around the garden because he had something buried in that garden.
Where'd it take place?
With precinct 6.
Maybe he was cheating on her and she left.
This fella knows he's being watched. Hurry up.
Oh boy.
Hello. Tom, I think Thorwald's left. I don't... Hello.
Tense just picked up here.
What do you want from me? Your friend, the girl, could have turned me in. Why didn't she? What is it you want? A lot of money?
I think he just said turn me in because of what he did to her.
Tell her to bring it back.
I can't. The police have it by now.
Wow. Cool.
Lisa! Doyle!
Oh my gosh.
Doyle! Creel! Give me a 38!
Sorry, the way that footage looked. I know it was the 50s, but anyway.
Jesus, sweetie, if anything had happened to you.
Shut up,
Aw.
Proud of you. You got enough for a search warrant now?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thorwald's ready to take us on a tour of the East River.
You saying it was buried in the flower bed?
Said the dog got too inquisitive, so he dug it up. It's in a hat box over in his apartment.
Want to look?
No, thanks. I don't want any part of her.
I can't tell you what this music has meant to me.
Aw. Look at this. I'm so happy. That's awesome. Oh, I got a new dog. And his apartment's being painted. She's still dancing.
Stanley! I'm stuck with you.
Oh, he was away. Oh, now you're in a cast twice. Oh, cool. One of each. Okay. I don't know why I was expecting or not expecting the end of the movie to just happen right away like that. If you enjoyed my reaction to Rear Window, let me know by clicking that like button down below and make sure to subscribe if you're not already so you can come back for more movie reactions, including more Hitchcock films down the road. All right, let's talk about this movie because I feel like the whole time during this movie, I was setting myself up to expect a really good twist. And I think I had that set just because of the only other Hitchcock film I've seen being Psycho. And if you've seen that one, you know. So I think I was kind of expecting a similar vibe in this one. You know, they did set up the Thorwald thing really well. the evidence that they had, was good evidence, but at the same time, I couldn't help but feel like maybe Jeff and Lisa were just reading a little bit too much into it, being like the snoopy neighbors that they were. So I was just expecting some kind of like mind-blowing, like, oh no, it was actually this that happened, la la la. But the fact that the movie ended with Thorwald actually having murdered his wife, which would be the logical conclusion to draw, to side with our protagonists, to believe them and believe the evidence that they found and everything. Anyway, the fact that it ended that way was a twist for me in the end because of the fact that I was expecting not the obvious ending. And I hope that was Hitchcock's intention with this. Maybe I just created a unique viewing experience for myself without realizing. But anyway, Hitchcock, the master of suspense, can give you the right conclusion to a story, the ones that the protagonist had thought all along, but yet you still feel like that was a twist in the end. Anyway, awesome. Like I said during the reaction, it is important to get to know your neighbors. It is important to kind of come to understand their daily habits and routines so that when something is off, you notice the way that Jeff noticed about Mrs. Thorwald in this movie. But at the same time, snooping's not great. And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Jeff was doing in this and a lot of the things that he wanted to do in this. So it's one of those, like, thank God he was watching closely enough to notice, but at the same time, it's like, we really don't want to encourage that level of peeping Tom snooping on people, because there are situations where you do want to mind your business, but at the same time, you should get to know your neighbors. You should get to know them. You should get to understand their routines so that, if something were to happen, something really bad, then at least someone cares and someone notices. You never want to be someone that has an accident in your home and you cannot call for help and then nobody comes to check in on you because they don't think about you, because they don't know you. Anyway, the story in this one was super fun. There was a lot of really great conversations and really awesome lines said in this movie. I cannot wait to edit it to just revisit a lot of those conversations, more specifically the ones between Grace and James, talking about the relationship between Jeff and Lisa and talking about their differences, talking about like the compromising. I believe in the end, it looks like they did actually compromise because she was reading a book about the Himalayas, but then she also had a book about the things that she enjoys. So I have faith that these two can come to a good compromise about what they want out of life and with each other, because if you really want to be with somebody, you will make it work. You will compromise. And if you're not willing to compromise, then they're just not the one for you. I mentioned in the reaction, you gotta be 100% in, otherwise don't even bother. Aside from the story in this one, which weirdly wasn't even the best part for me, the best part for me about this movie was just the filming of it. Oh my gosh, the set was massive. I just loved the choice of having all these different apartment complexes, all these different people living in them, and that we are watching through Jeff's eyes, through either his eyes on their own, through binoculars, through a camera lens. Very, very, very fun. I loved the choice to have a bunch of scenes where there was no dialogue whatsoever and we were literally just watching people. We were just watching people and learning about them just by seeing them through their windows, seeing what they were up to, seeing who they were talking with, etc., etc. What I especially love was that woman, Miss Lonely Hearts, that he had nicknamed her on the bottom floor. The fact that just by watching her through the window, we got to understand that she was really desiring a partner and was lonely, and then she ended up finding a man, but the man just immediately wanted to get in her pants, and you could tell that she was immediately uncomfortable with that and wanted to take things slow, and he was not having any of it, and so she kicked him out. And then it develops even more, and then we find out, oh my gosh, she has all these pills and she is wanting to end her life. That is not good. Oh my gosh, so much storytelling about a character that we never once heard speak and that we never once had in a scene talking directly to her or anything like that. So that was really fun. I am so happy that she had a happy ending in the end with the man that was playing the piano. I wish happy things for them. I really loved all of the acting and the performances in this one. Once again, James Stewart, what a man. Very handsome to look at, very handsome to listen to. His voice is wonderful, and I think he played this character really, really well. Loved seeing him in all of these scenes. He's our main character. We're following him through this, and it's so funny because I was expecting him to be wrong, but yet I still wanted to believe him. So I supported him in finding out the answer, expecting something different. He was right in the end. Love that for him. Anyway, just a very, very cool character. Grace Kelly, what a bombshell. Also very pleasant to look at and listen to. what a beauty. Perfect makeup, perfect hair, wonderful outfits. Every single outfit she ever had on was really, really lovely. And I loved her scenes as well. I loved her scenes with James Stewart. I think their dynamic was really, really great back and forth with each other. But I think my favorite scene of her in the movie was when she was like out in the courtyard, climbing up the ladder, getting herself into that apartment, doing it in a fabulous dress and heels to boot, and not once messing up her hair and makeup doing so. That is a queen. I am definitely up for more Grace Kelly films down the road. Doyle was fun. There was that one moment where I just felt like something was off with him. He kept looking at her little suitcase where her clothes were in. I still don't know that I know what he was thinking necessarily in doing that, but yeah, Doyle was fine. I'm glad that Doyle was like willing to engage in Jeff's requests and willing to like go out and investigate this. It must have been a slow week at the police department if he like willingly went ahead and did this, despite feeling like, you know, Jeff was snooping and had nothing, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, since Jeff was right, maybe Doyle will take that moving forward and listen to people that have more kind of claims like that and look into things based on watching from afar or a little hunch or whatever. Stella was really, really fun. I really enjoyed the conversations between her and Jeff. Stella had a lot of really great lines. None can pop to mind word for word right now, but I'm very excited to edit those parts of the reaction so that I can re-experience those conversations again, because I don't know, there was just something really fun about them. I think the thing though that I like the most about this movie is how it just reminds us of how curious we've always been as humans and how snooping can sometimes just be something we do without even really realizing that we do. And I think about just like myself with this. So as soon as the sun goes down, I am someone that likes my blinds closed and the curtains drawn. I don't like the idea of people being able to see into my house so easily at night, which they would be able to do because there's no sun reflecting off windows or anything like that. You can just see into homes a lot more clearly at night, right? But yet if I'm the one outside and I am either walking past or driving past a home that hasn't done that and their curtains are still open, their blinds are still open, do I look through the window? Yes, I do. I'll admire people's decor. If they're watching a movie on the TV and it's one that I've seen before, I kind of like make a remark in my own head, like, oh, what a great movie. I hope you're enjoying it. And so I should assume that people would probably do the same back to me if they peer into my house at night. But for some reason, I just don't like that. I don't like the idea of people looking in and people seeing what I'm doing. So the fact that this whole movie was done in such a way where for so much of the movie, we're being that person. We are on the outside and we're snooping and we're looking through windows and watching people live their lives. And then we're like making remarks about it, right? That's exactly what Jeff was doing in the movie. But yet he was afraid of being seen constantly throughout this movie. And especially when they were really doing their investigative work with Thorwald, like he was, you know, he would roll back in his wheelchair and go in the shadows a little bit, which would not have prevented anyone from seeing him, by the way. I like that he thought that would put him into hiding. It wouldn't, but it remains that he didn't want to be seen, right? So I am very much like Jeff in this case. And I feel like a lot of us might be like Jeff in that case. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of a neat thing about this movie. I think that wraps up my thoughts on Rear Window, so I'm going to go to Letterboxd now to see what some other people have to say about this film. So let's go. 4.5-star review. I relate to Jeffries a lot because I too would jump to the most dramatic conclusion after seeing something mildly suspicious. 4-star review. Man is tormented and distracted by competing visions of married life and his own future as the hottest woman on the planet begs to have sex with him. Jimmy Stewart is a real asshole in this movie. Good movie, but now I'm a little bit alarmed because I spend the whole day with my curtains open and who knows how many men try to be Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window every day. Valid point. 4.5-star review. You're telling me that after 7 weeks of nonstop staring out the window, not one person noticed him? Okay. As I'm scrolling through a lot of these reviews, a lot of people are pointing out that the whole movie was filmed in that apartment. And obviously, yes, it was, but I never felt anything wrong with that in this movie. And it's done so well that you like don't notice that they're not ever leaving the apartment. Like it's because Jeff has a broken leg. So, and we're following Jeff with this, right? Jeff's not leaving, which means we're not leaving. I love that choice. Even when other people left the apartment and we were watching them, we still stayed in the apartment and never once left. So that is cool. I'm gonna include one more review. I usually don't include this many, but we're doing it today. 5 stars. Everyone has a window in them. We don't know everyone deeply, and even if we know everything about them, we only see a fraction of the person, and sometimes it's not pretty. It's only when we break down those windows where we see people's true intentions, some good, some bad, some in between. But sometimes laying down that window is important to grow and be a better person. All right, and now we've reached that time of the video where I turn it to you and ask you to leave your comments down below about this movie. Please tell me what you think about it. I feel like most of you absolutely love this movie, so I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Let me know your favorite lines, your favorite scenes, your favorite moments. Let me know all the things. If there's any fun facts, please share them. And thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. To everyone on Patreon, thank you so much for your financial support. Once again, if you would like full-length watch-alongs, exclusive reactions, more poll voting, and more, come hang out with us over there. And with that, the sun is really coming through now and blinding me, so I'm going to leave the office for a moment. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please click here to do so. And if you want to continue watching something else of mine, please click on over here. Thank you so much again, and we will see you in the next reaction. Take care.